And hello, everyone. Welcome to this power scanning session, the first one of 2025. Oh boy, it is good to be back. First of all, it feels like an eternity that we had our last webinar. I think the last one was, when was it? Right before Christmas, so almost 2 weeks ago. And secondly, for me at least personally, it's good to be back finally in Montreal. I went on an extensive vacation around the Christmas holidays. I went to the Netherlands, Amsterdam. I went to Germany, of course, my home country, and then I went to Barcelona. Now we're finally back in Montreal. So for me, I'm glad to be back. Thank God. All right, guys. So before we get started, let me ask you guys a question. Who do we have today in the room and where are you calling in from? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Who do we have today? So let me see. All right. So Shiraz from no location, but yes, Shiraz, we're gonna send the recording will be posted on our YouTube page afterwards. Frank says Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year to you too, Frank. And Frank is from Den Haag, Den Haag, Netherlands. Oh boy. Aubrey from Cyprus, sunny Cyprus. Hey Aubrey, good to see you. David from Delaware. Hey David, how's it going? Shiraz is from London. Hey Shiraz. Gerald from Santa Fe, New Mexico. The weather must be nice down there as well. Christian from Germany. Hi, Christian. Wie geht's? Cherry from Colorado Mountains. Hi, Cherry. Yes, Den Haag, Frank. Michael from Ottawa. Nice. Mohammed from Houston. Hey, Mohammed, how's it going? Rajiv from Bengaluru. Hey, Rajiv, how's it going? I have been to Bengaluru, believe it or not, twice in my life. So it was a very nice experience. That was back in the day, and actually Bengaluru being Bangalore, of course, in India. That was back in the day when I was still at university doing my PhD. So a long, long time ago. And it was a really good experience. So I really loved it there. I still remember the taste of the fruits I had, the small bananas. They were so tasty. Oh boy. All right. Vic from California. Hey, Vic, how's it going? Larry from Maryland. How are you? Siegfried from Vienna, Wien. Happy New Year. Gutes neues Jahr, Siegfried. Charles from New York. Hey, Charles, how's it going? Edmund from Toronto. Hey, Edmund, how are you? Christian from Germany. Hey, Christian. Keith from the Scottish borders. All right. Is that where you're normally from, Keith? I remember you being from the US. Perhaps it's a different Keith. Kevin from China now. Wow, interesting. Nas from New York. Awesome. Wow, full house today. Thank you guys so much for sharing your location. And of course, also from my side, I wish you all a happy new year. I hope you had a great time, a great celebration with your families, your friends, and a great start into 2025. And of course, that all your dreams and ambitions, especially for trading, may come true in this new year. So it's great to have you all on board. All right, so my name is Daniel Sinek. So let me quickly introduce myself a bit closer. So I'm Daniel Sinek. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side, and I'm representing tradingindicators.com. So we are a company that specializes in developing innovative trading solutions. And over the years, we've built roughly 1,000, this number is a bit outdated, roughly 1,000 trading indicators for clients all over the world. And we not only build trading indicators, but we build trading solutions. And one such trading solution we're going to use today to scan for interesting swing trading setups for the week and the weeks ahead. And how this works and which setups and which stocks and ETFs we're going to find today, we're going to discover together. All right. So, and one last thing, when it comes to trading, keep in mind that trading does contain substantial risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance or really anything based on past data, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and setups discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so with this out of the way, let's get started. So what we're going to do today is we're going to interactively scan for what we call high reward and low risk setups. And for this, we're going to use a special tool that we have developed in-house, a tool designed to scan through roughly 5,000 symbols to find stocks which currently have these kind of setups. And this tool is called the Liquidity View dashboard. If you don't have access to this dashboard yet, I encourage you to follow along. And you can do this completely risk-free by signing up for a free trial of our Liquidity View dashboard. You're going to get a full week of a free trial, no strings attached, no payment will be deducted within this first week. And of course, should you like it, you have the chance to then sign up for one of the monthly or yearly options that we have. And one more thing, which makes it perhaps a bit more interesting, even we currently, until Monday, 12 p.m., Monday at noon Eastern time, we have a special going on, which will get you 25% off these subscriptions. And all you need to use is this coupon code here, which is called HOLIDAY. So enter this coupon code here, HOLIDAY, to get 25% off. And the beauty about this is if you sign up right now at tradingindicators.com/view, and Niklas, please put this link into the chat box. Perfect. I already see it there. You will get instant access. As you get an email right away as a confirmation, and with instructions how to sign up. And this whole process only takes about 2 minutes. And then you have access to our dashboard. All right. So if you want to follow along here, this is how you can do it. Also, we have written an ebook about our 3 most powerful swing trading strategies. We call this ebook The Power of 3. And in this webinar, we are going to scan for exactly these 3 strategies. And all these strategies are high reward and low risk. And this ebook is called The Power of 3, and it's completely free. And if you're interested, you can download this ebook simply by going to tradingindicators.com/power-of-3. And also this link will be posted into the chat in any second. So you can simply click on it and download this ebook. All right, so that was that. And before we get to the dashboard, I have to say one last thing. We have really, really big plans for 2025 when it comes to this dashboard. Not only when it comes to this dashboard, but when it comes to many of our other products as well. But for this dashboard, we definitely want to add way more symbols to it. We are already tracking about 5,000 symbols, but at the end of 2025, we expect to track around 8,000 or 8,500 symbols with this dashboard. We will also publish updates faster than we are doing it right now. And this will be achieved by, first of all, rehosting our dashboard onto a brand new cloud solution, which we are currently designing, and also improving how the update process works internally on our end. So these 2 things will come in 2025, and it's not very far out. So I believe this could or may already be done by perhaps the end of January. So this is one of the faster updates which we have planned. Then we also want to publish some statistics about these 3 setups, which I mentioned before. The 3 setups which are discussed in this ebook, The Power of 3. We're going to go into these 3 setups today. So we're going to publish some statistics, which will let you see right inside the dashboard. Okay, how well has this particular setup worked out over time? How many times was there a winner? How many times was there a loser? Are there any seasonal effects? Are there certain months, perhaps, where the setup has worked better than other months? And stuff like this. So this will also come as a new feature for the dashboard. And of course, we're going to add some additional filters and indicators as well for the dashboard. And the good news is, if you are signed up, you will be grandfathered in to all these additional features. So you're going to get all these, for free with your current subscription. And of course, we don't want to just invent these features by ourselves. So if you have any suggestions or ideas on how to further improve the dashboard, please don't be shy. Put them into the Q&A box, and we're going to keep track of all these suggestions. And if possible, we're going to add them to the dashboard as well. So big plans for 2025. All right, so let me see if there are any questions right now. For the price, simply go to tradingindicators.com/view. You can see the price there. Somebody was asking this question. Okay, so let's start with a quick market review. For this, we're gonna now open up our dashboard. So I'm gonna switch over right here. There we go. And once you open the dashboard, it looks like this. Yeah, you have your scanner on the left-hand side and your price chart on the right-hand side. In this case, it happens to be Bitcoin opened up here, but typically it's the first symbol on our scanner. It's Agilent Technologies, which is opened up on our price chart. But, we're going to open up with a little bit of a global market review. So let's look at what the SPY has been doing lately. So I'm going to open up the SPY ETF. And what we can see here is that, first let's focus on the scanner here. We can see that, all right, the SPY symbol has been in an uptrend as per our MA Rush indicator for the last 412 trading days. And that's very easily evident if you just look at the price chart. Yeah, this symbol has been bullish. Of course, the S&P 500s have been going up for a long time. And MA Rush actually flagged the SPY to be bullish since, when was it? Since May 15th, 2023. And if you count up the candles, that's exactly 412 bars. All right, so that's the first thing we can see here. And the second thing we can see is that we are currently in a magnet zone. All right, so what's the magnet zone? For this, we have to go all the way until the end of the price chart, until the most recent data. And we can see that price, if you just open this up a little bit more, is pretty much smack down in the center between support down here and resistance up here. You can see it. So it's in the middle of these two boxes. And if this happens, we call that price is within a magnet zone. And the interpretation can be, hey, it is unlikely that price will stay in this price area for much longer. It will be attracted to either the bottom here, to the support zone, or to this resistance zone up here. But it's unlikely that price will stay in this area because these zones have magnetic properties and they will attract price. All right, but then you may say, oh man, okay, that's of course this kind of obvious. Price obviously will either go up or go down. Yes, but there are certain things that we can do to predict to which of these zones will price will go next. So here when it comes to the SPY, and of course this is not a big surprise, I guess, we are in an uptrend. Let me just zoom out a little bit here to see exactly when this uptrend has really started, basically from this point here. So I'm going to draw a trend channel. So I'm going to go here to a parallel trend channel, if I can find it. This one here, okay. And I'm going to connect this line and this line here. All right, and we can see, without a doubt, we are in an uptrend. Of course, this trend channel is ascending, but we can also see that, we are still fairly far away from a reversal point. Because when do trend traders talk about a reversal or a change of trend? It's when this trend here is no longer holding. But right now, even though we did have a bit of a pullback, starting in the, second week of December, price pulled back and corrected, we are still miles away from seeing a reversion in trend. This so far is simply a correction. So you can see it here. Now we are correcting, and it is not unlikely, especially if Friday's price action was very, very bullish, is going to continue. It is not unlikely that price will see or will soon approach this resistance zone up top here and even make higher highs. Traditionally, the beginning of January is very bullish if you look at seasonality information. And of course, this may repeat itself this year as well. So we'll see what's going to happen here. My bet is that price will continue in the bullish direction, especially if you can see lower levels in the VIX. Actually, let me quickly see what the VIX is saying right now. I'm going to come back to the SPY in a second. So the VIX, of course, being the volatility index. Yeah, we can see here the VIX being at 16, around the 1674 handle. It spiked up to 1895, but it's still very low. And if you see the VIX remaining in this area or even dropping lower, we're definitely going to see higher levels in the SPY as well. All right, so that's for the SPY. Here, my prediction would be that price is approaching this resistance zone in the first or maybe second week of January. All right, actually second week, of course, the first week technically being over right now. All right. Moving on, let's look at the QQQs. So the QQQs, spoiler alert, looks quite similar to what the SPY looks like. If the only difference that we are not in a, well, technically speaking, in a magnet zone. We're not in between these two boxes. You can clearly see it here. Instead, we have a different setup. I'm going to come back to this a bit later today. We are in what we call a long break retrace setup. And you may say, oh my God, what's this long crazy name? What's a long break retrace setup? Well, let's dissect this name a little bit. Long break retrace happens when price broke above resistance. You can see it here. Price broke above this green level here. This was resistance. It went up initially, went up and went up, but then retraced. So the second part comes in. Retraced back or towards the broken resistance level, which is now acting as support. And guess what? This is one of our favorite setups because this happens all the time. Price initially goes up, then the market tries to fake you out, it goes down again, and then it really goes to the upside. So I was happy to see price coming down to this, and had we spotted this on Thursday, this could have been a very interesting opportunity to go along here. Yeah, the QQQ ETF. All right. So, but besides this here, also my outlook, of course, is bullish. Let's go to gold. So gold has been retracing a bit. It was so bullish throughout the entire year. And just by looking at this chart here right now, where is gold? It is in between support and resistance. And it's fairly in the middle. Not exactly. It's not an exact science, but it is fairly in the middle. Meaning gold is also in a magnet zone setup. You can see it here in our scanner. GLD is currently in a magnet zone. Yeah. And here, once again, the idea is that gold will not stay within this zone for much longer. It will, at this level for much longer, it will either go towards the resistance level up here or towards down the support level down here. And once again, oftentimes it is a good bet to follow the trend as your friend. If gold can stay above this support level, I believe all-time highs may also be in the books for gold. All right, now one more thing. Let's look at Bitcoin, because everybody's talking about Bitcoin. So let me open up, where is it? There we go. Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin? It is at 98,000. Wow, what a ride it has been, huh? So Bitcoin, of course, broke above resistance back here, I guess right after the elections. It broke above the resistance, went all the way up to 108,000, then retraced. These are crazy numbers, guys. Retraced from 108,000 down to 80, I believe even lower. Maybe 91,000. So it lost like 15, 16,000 points. And then now up again at 98,000. So kudos to everyone who was able to hold on to that or trade in this environment. So with Bitcoin, of course, it is risky. We had these huge price swings, and it is not unlikely that we may see a deeper correction down to this broken resistance level. Remember the zone break retrace setup we just discussed, where price comes all the way down to the level which was broken, which is now acting as support. this is still in the books, guys. So I would not rule it out that we may see a correction of Bitcoin all the way down to 74, 75,000 before it will really take off. So these are typical market behaviors. So don't be surprised on Bitcoin, of course, you can say, okay, it's gonna keep going higher from this point on. And eventually, I believe, long term, we're gonna see higher levels than 98,000. Even the all-time highs are likely to be taken off. But it is also not unlikely that before this happens, we're gonna see a deeper correction all the way down to this broken level here, because we see it time and time again that price first retraces down to the broken level and then it takes off. And sometimes this may take a while. This may take, months or even longer. All right. So let me, thanks, John. John just said he loves these Saturday sessions. Thanks, John, for your kind words. All right. So this was our market review. And one more thing to look at perhaps is also gold. So gold has been in a sideways market forever. So it's been very indecisive, and it's the classic sideways market paradigm. And just look at what we see here on our price chart. So let me just zoom this out a little bit. So this is gold, the gold ETF. Price has been range bound very neatly between support and resistance. Look at this. These lines, they're here for a reason, because they show you the range in which gold has been trading. Look at this resistance line up here. Gold wicked up to it, almost to the T, and went down again, wicked up again, and then it went down again, here again. It's not always exact, and down again. And once again, we have been now going further up, but I'll tell you what, before I see a decisive break above this massive resistance level here, I would still keep my assumption, hey, gold is range bound. Gold will stay sideways. So it's an interesting market. And, if you're a range trader, there are lots of opportunities in these markets as well. And for example, right now, what you could do, this is one of our, also one of our setups, is the short bounce setup, meaning price is approaching a resistance level and may bounce off to the short side. This is where the name comes from, short bounce. So we're here at this resistance level, and price may not be able to penetrate this resistance level, and instead will retrace and bounce off to the area in between resistance and support. All right, so gold still being range bound, even though we have seen quite a bit of a recovery from our lows here around the 60, 68 areas early on. All right, so far for the market review. And John, we're going to have John, we're going to have a ticker roundtable at the end today. All right. Yeah, this is David. This is gold. I said, did I say gold? Did I say gold? Oh my boy, oil, guys. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Yeah, it shows that I haven't been back in this country. I was in Germany for too long. Yes, this is oil. Oh my God. So I apologize. So oil being range bound, of course, and gold we had earlier GLD being bullish and yeah, in between support and resistance in the magnet zone. So I apologize for that. All right, guys. Okay, so now let me quickly go back to my slides and let's now look at our setups for the week ahead. What we're going to look for are setups which we call high reward and low risk. So these are aggressive setups. Don't get me wrong. Why aggressive? Because we're going to have a very tight stop loss. And of course, having a very tight stop loss, this comes with, some other risks. On the good side is that if we get stopped out, we're not going to lose that much. But the downside, of course, is we may get stopped out more often too fast. It is possible, but in my experience, if you have the patience and if you have the confidence to stay with your approach, over time, the benefits, meaning the rewards, will outpace what you will risk with these kind of setups. But it may require several tries. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on one setup at a time. If we find something interesting, we're going to add it to what we call a hot list within the dashboard. And then at the end of the session, we are going to do a detailed analysis of our best finds to see which ones are the most promising setups for the week ahead. Now, what are the setups that we are going to consider today? Well, we're going to look at our bounce setup, the zone break setup, and the zone break setup. But before we get into these three, we're going to start with a very simple one, which is called the healthy pullback setup. This is also the reason why we call this the power of 3 plus, because we added this additional setup to the mix. All right, so what is this healthy pullback setup all about? Well, consider this. Let's say we have a trending symbol. Let's say this one here. Clearly, you don't need a PhD in finance to see this. This symbol is in an uptrend. And if you're a trend trader, you're going to get excited right now because, wow, it's a great trending stock. It's been trending to the upside for a long, long time. But guess what? As a trend trader, not every entry is a good entry. Because as a trend trader, you don't want to enter when the symbol is overextended, meaning it's trading far above its mean, these lines here, its average. So here or here or here, because chances are the symbol will eventually retrace to its mean. Also, so first of all, you may get quite a bit of a drawdown if you enter at the wrong time. And secondly, your stop loss. Now, if you want to give this trend trade some room to play out, would be very far away. You'd have to play it all the way at the lower end of the trend channel. So that's a far stop loss if you enter at these levels up here. What you want to do is to wait for what we call a healthy pullback. We can see it here. So this is an uptrend, of course. All right. But we want to wait for a healthy pullback. Prices retracing to a lower level. Because when this happens, this gives you a great entry opportunity into this trend trade. You're not only gonna get a much cheaper entry price, but also your risk level, your stop loss will be much nearby. Therefore, you're risking less on this trade. So how can we find these kind of stocks which are trending up for a long time, yet having this kind of pullback? Well, this is where two indicators of ours will come in. The first one is called MA Rush. MA Rush will tell you whether the stock has been trending up or down. So it's very simple. And the second indicator is Trend Radar, the one down here, because this indicator will tell you whether we currently have a healthy pullback. Do you see these red patches here? These red areas in this largely green area? These are pullbacks. Yeah. So every line within Trend Radar represents a trend. The upper lines are short-term trend information. The medium lines here are medium-term trend information, and the lower lines are long-term trend information. And once we see, an area like this, we can see that, okay, the short and medium-term trends are bearish, meaning we are pulling back, but the long-term trend, this last line, this last row down here, is still bullish. That's a classic sign of a healthy pullback. And we're going to exactly scan for these kind of stocks right now. All right, so back to the dashboard. There we go. I'm going to start from scratch back to our 4,922 symbols. And we're going to use two indicators of ours. MA Rush, which is going to give us trend information, and this one here, the pullback scan here, which is going to show us whether Trend Radar, this indicator down here, currently has a pullback. Let me show you how this works. Let me click on this one here, American Airlines Group. We can see that this stock recently, 12 bars ago, shifted from being bearish to bullish. How do I see this? Well, we have an up arrow here showing us a bullish trend. And this 12 here means this happened 12 bars ago. And if you count back from the last bar on your chart all the way to where this bull label is printed, you can see this has happened 12 bars ago. All right. Now, right now, we are bullish. And we can see here, trend radar is currently in a level 2, this number 2 here, in the level 2 pullback. So now if you go back to our chart here, look at this trend, or this indicator down here. This is called trend radar. The first 2 rows are red, meaning it's a level 2 pullback. So the first 2 ones are red, the rest is green, level 2 pullback. Let me see a level 3 pullback. This one here, Apple. All right, so Apple has been bullish. Wow, for 446 trading days. So super, super bullish. And in fact, this is going to be a very interesting stock for later on today, even for right now. And it is in a level 3 pullback. And you can see it here. It retraced very nicely. See it here. 1, 2, 3 levels of trend radar are red. The remaining ones are green, a level 3 pullback. And in this case, I'm going to add this symbol right now to my watch list because I really like what I'm seeing here. In this case, a third dimension comes in. We are also seeing a long break retrace setup. I mentioned this before. Price broke above resistance, goes up and up and up, and then it retraces down to the broken resistance level, now acting as support. And it is not unlikely that once this happened, price would then really take off to the upside. So a very interesting setup. So actually, let me add this right away. We didn't even finish our scan for these pullbacks yet, but let me add this one right away to our watch list for the week ahead. So I'm going to create a new watch list. I'm going to use this drop down here. Click on create. All right, so setups. 2025-0104. That's today's date. I will create it. I'm going to add Apple to this watch list. So right click, add to our, oops, did I do this too fast? Let me just quickly see. Maybe I just discovered a bug in our dashboard. Let me see one more time. Ah. Oh boy, it's not there. Maybe, hang on. 1 second. Definitely going to take a note of this, but let me try to debug this right. I'm going to take one of these ones out. Maybe we hit a limit as to how many. This is very strange. Okay, okay. Give me one more try, guys. Just going to take this out. Maybe this feature is currently broken, but rest assured, even though it may be broken right now. Oh, there we go. Now it's there. Maybe we had too many. We're definitely going to fix this. I think our list was too long and therefore it did not show up here. Huh, interesting. Okay, anyways, now it's available here. So maybe I had too many watch lists. So this context menu was too big and the last one did not show up. So now we can add it to this watch list. All right, this is done. Perfect. Okay, so Apple has been added. But let's go back to our original assumption. What we want to see are stocks which have been in an uptrend for a very long time and are experiencing a level 3 or level 4 pullback. Because these pullbacks are like the best. Level 2, I think it's a bit too shallow. I think there's always more to come. But level 3, we see an Apple here, or even level 4, these are the best pullbacks because they are deeper. And you know, if the uptrend is continuing, these will give you the best re-entry opportunities into this uptrend. Let me just give you an example of a level 4 pullback. This one here, ABG. I can see it here, how deep this pullback was from the all-time high here all the way down here. And look how well this resistance level has held up, coincidentally here. This indicator printed this resistance level all the way back here. Price wicked up. When was it? November 25th. It could not break this resistance level and then retrace down here. All right. In any case, this would be a level 4 pullback, for example, which is much deeper as you can see it. All right. So we want to find these level 3 or level 4 pullbacks. Let's start with level 4. So what I can do here is I can click next. I can click on this filter icon next to our pullback column and select level 4 under bull. So level 4. And now, once I do this, the scanner will update immediately and only show me the symbols which are currently have these level 4 pullbacks. And if you look down here, Of our 4,922 symbols, only 387 are currently in this level 4 pullback. All right, cool. So that's condition number one. But the second thing I would like to see is I would also like to see that these symbols are currently bullish. So most of them are bullish. You can see it here. They're pointing up, but there may be some which are currently not bullish. Like this one here, for example. Not many, but some of them may not be bullish as per our MA rush indicator. So let's use another filter here. I'm going to go to our MA rush column and select the filter bullish. Once I do this, we filter out all the bearish symbols and only focus on the ones which are currently actually bullish. So now we're down to 372. All right. But there's one more thing which I like to do. I like to sort my symbols from highest to lowest in terms of trend duration. I want to focus on the ones where the trend has been going on for the longest. And the first one that comes up here, oh boy, it's orange juice futures. It's actually a symbol I typically don't even look at when it comes to swing trades. It's mostly a symbol for day trading. But if you look back here at this future symbol, well, I guess orange juice really has gotten expensive over the years. Oh boy, can this be true? Yeah, but it's been bullish since since May 28, 2022. Oh boy, bullish. And now currently it has been experiencing a level 4 pullback. But once again, if you assume that, hey, this bullish trend is likely to continue, and we are merely now retraced down to perhaps the lower end of this trend channel. Yeah, this could be an interesting entry opportunity into the long direction, assuming that price is going to continue in the near future again, if this trend, of course, holds up. All right, so this brings me to another point of the dashboard. We can also filter by asset class. So let's ignore the futures for now. I know most of you, if you trade futures, you will day trade futures. You're not swing trading them. They're too leveraged for this. So let's apply another filter to it. I'm going to go here and enable the asset class column, this one here. So you can do this via the column configurator here. Yeah. Asset class, you click on it. And in the filter here, let's just focus on stocks and ETFs for the sake of this scanning session. So once you've done this, you can see that the orange juice futures are no longer shown here. We're down to 366 symbols. All right, so what's the first symbol now in our list? It's AJG, Arthur J. Gallagher and Co. All right, let's check it out. All right, so what do we see? And this, I guess this was drawn by me a bit before. Let me take this trend channel off. And we can see, okay, all right, price has been bullish. We can see it very nicely here. That's very bullish. And in fact, bullish for 1,446 trading days. That's like 4 years. We've been trending up, but recently, price has retraced, has corrected from the all-time highs around 316 down to 377. And on top of this, we are also trading near the support zone, or within this support zone right here. This is a great combination of things. We're in a bullish trend, which is still intact. We can see trend radar showing us a level 4 pullback. And there are early signs, of course, on Friday, most of the stocks went to the bullish side. There are early signs that, hey, this deep correction may have come to an end. We may see a continuation of this uptrend to the upside. So I'm going to add this also to our watch list for this week ahead. All right. Next one, Greener W Inc. All right. Okay, this one is interesting too. Let me quickly see. This is a stock where I'm not so happy about how clean this trend is defined. Even though, if you go back a bit further down, let me just quickly see. It's just this trend is getting just more volatile, I guess. Yeah, so I can't even draw proper parallel trend lines here because I guess price went up so much. Ideally, what I like to see are trend lines which are truly parallel. In this case, if I draw the lower trend line here, and if I connect the highest high here that we just had, well, all the other highs that we had before, they are very disconnect from this upper trend line. If price expands a lot in a short period, that's a common phenomena. But in this case, it means that, hey, our swings to the upside and also to the downside are getting bigger. That's why I can't connect these parallel lines anymore. And we can see this right now. If you look at this recent swing off the all-time high here, it's quite a big swing. But the good news is, even though it was a big swing, we are once again, and you may remember, we are once again in a zone break retrace setup. We broke above resistance right here, went all the way up. Now we retraced down to this broken resistance level all the way down here. Once again, I like the setups actually, because oftentimes when this happens, we may see that this level here will act as support and price will continue from it. But this would be quite a risky one. So here, it would not be unlikely for price actually to go all the way down here, perhaps to this support zone, or even at least to the lower end of this trend channel. But nonetheless, let me also add this one to our watch list for the week ahead. All right, and perhaps one last one. Republic Services Inc. Excuse me. What do we have here? All right. So here, once again, a level 4 pullback. You can see all these first 4 rows of trend radar are red, while the last one is green. All right, what did we see here? That's an interesting one too. So we made an all-time high on, when was that? On November 29, yeah. And then retraced down to this level. In this case, it's a support level. And, it is not unlikely. This trend is very much intact. You can see very clearly. Let me just use a regular line here. And see very clearly, we are making higher lows throughout. So if I connect this, you can see every low that we made. These are these swing points here. They are higher than the previous bigger swing points. So we're making higher lows. This is not violated yet. And we are also making higher highs. So one more time, let me draw this trend line. So here, all these high points, they're higher than the previous ones. So yeah, pretty much. And right now, if this continues, we are at a dream spot to enter into this long trend. Why? Because we are trading. Well, first of all, we have a level 4 pullback, which is great. Secondly, this stock has been bullish for 1,114 trading days. We are near a support level. You can see this reddish area here. And this was a manual analysis. We are at the lower end of this trend channel. This is where you want to enter. This gives you the best entry opportunities. Why? Because it's much cheaper now than entering here at around 220. Now we're at 200, around 200. And your stop loss would just need to be just below the support level. We're perhaps at 195. Once again, it's a high reward, low risk setup, but it requires a tight stop loss. So stop loss of perhaps only 5, maybe 6, 7 points. But what you can gain if this trend continues, and all-time highs will be made, outpaces by quite a bit your risk on the table. Therefore, high reward and low risk. All right. So let me also add this one to our watch list. There we go. Okay, do we have yeah, I'm going to get to that question about the power bundle and what would be the best tool for day trading. And Niklas, perhaps you can answer this in the chat. Perfect. Are there any other questions before we move on? All right, that doesn't seem to be the case. So guys, if you have questions or simple requests, please don't be shy. Okay, so we're going to move on with our next setup for this week. So this was the healthy pullback. As you can see, it's very logical. I love the logic behind it. It makes it very simple. And oftentimes, as I say, trading should be simple. And the simplest solutions are oftentimes the best ones. Okay, so the next setup is our bounce setup. And I mentioned this a few times today, but here's a quick recap of why or what the setup is all about. So in a bounce setup, price, for example, is approaching a support level down here. And support, of course, is acting as support and prevents price, in this case, from going any lower. And instead, price will bounce off towards the middle in between support and resistance. Once again, a low risk because your stop loss would just be below here, high reward because what you can gain typically is much bigger, high reward setup. So this is how the bounce setup works. So how can we scan for this? How can we scan whether price is near a support level, for example? Well, let's go back to the dashboard. So back here, I'm going to, remove all my filters. You can do this via this yellow button here, clear all filters. It's done. So all filters are gone. We're back to our 4,922 symbols. Okay, so how can we scan whether price is near a support level? Okay, so basically near this this reddish area here. How can we scan for this? Well, to learn this, I'm going to quickly hide all my drawings. To find these setups, you need to understand that these levels are printed by our liquidity IQ indicator. This one here, liquidity IQ. So if I hide this indicator for a second, you can see these levels are gone. Okay, so these are printed by this indicator. So in the scanner on the left-hand side, we can actually scan for what this indicator is currently telling us. You can see this one here, Liquidity IQ setup. And if you use the filter right next to it, you will see two entries. One is called long bounce, and the other one is called short bounce. Long bounce means we may bounce off to the long direction, meaning price is near support, and price may bounce up to the long direction. Short bounce, on the other hand, means we are near a resistance level. We may bounce off to the short side. Okay. In this case, let's focus for the long setups. So long bounce, I click on it, and once done, we can see that, wow, 775 stocks, that's a lot, are currently trading near a support level. Let's try it out. So I'm going to go to this one here. For example, I guess this one. You can see here, okay, price is in this reddish area. It's near support level. We're near, and this is never an exact science. So proximity is sufficient for this reading to come up. So price is nearish a support level. And this was by design so that you can get a bit of a heads up when price is approaching a level. All right, so this is pretty good. We can, scan for these. This seems to work. But you know what? This, for example, this symbol here, it doesn't convince me too much that this level will hold. Why? Because MA Rush is telling me right now, wow, we are actually bearish. The trend has changed from bullish. Oh, yeah, bullish. When did we start being bullish? Let me quickly see. A long time ago. This symbol recently changed. So here in April 2021, we went bullish. It would have been a great trade if you just followed this indicator. And some of our users, they only trade according to these readings here. What MA Rush is telling us. We rode up the trend all the way, but then just recently now, the trend has changed to bearish. And of course, if the trend change, really pans out, this level will not hold. So to me, that's not a great setup. I want MA Rush to be bullish at the same time as well. So what can I do? I can use another filter here. So once again, I'm going to use our MA Rush filter and only focus on the bullish stocks. All right, done. So now we're down to 231 symbols. All right, perfect. And let me just click on this one here, ExxonMobil. All right, we can see here, it has probably been bullish if you look back, even though this is very, very sharpy. But as per our indicator, as per MA Rush, this symbol has been bullish for a long time. That's from 2021. Bullish, 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 even though we're a bit more range bound here. And we are currently near a support level. So these are the things I would like to find, even though this one to me is too much sideways. But if you believe, I talked about sideways trading, which is not what I typically do. But if you're a sideways trader, if you're a range trader, these are great setups. Look at how well you could have range traded this symbol. Short here, long here, short here. And these levels, they're printed in real time. So you would have known about these levels when they start printing and so forth. So this could be, if you're a range trader, an interesting opportunity perhaps to enter long now because you're at the support level. All right. So, but there's one more thing we can do. We can sort once again by duration, by trend duration, by simply clicking on this MA rush column here. So I did this, and now let's go up to the first one here. And the first one that comes up is LLY, Lilly, Ozempics. We can see here Lilly, of course, being very, very bullish. Over time, it's been parabolic even in the last years. Hit big resistance all the way up here early on this year in this summer. Retraced a lot. This was even more than just a level 4 pullback. You can see it here in Trend Radar, level 5 pullback across the board. But now some sort of support zone seems to be forming here, like a support cluster even, multiple levels being forming. And to me, this could be an interesting opportunity. So we may see some extra sideways action coming up here. And in fact, you never know of pharmaceuticals, but after such a prolonged uptrend, lengthy consolidation, meaning a sideways phase, is not unlikely. So we may see this happening here. It's a call that you may want to take. I personally typically stay away from pharmaceuticals because any news that may come out, let's say, hey, a new drug has not been approved, may shake the symbol by quite a bit. But if you use a small position size or perhaps an options trade on this one, even the options will be very expensive, given the expensive stock price, this could be an interesting alternative because then your risk is very limited. So for me, I'm going to skip this one for our watch list for now. RSG, we had this right in, I believe we had this, unless I'm going crazy. Yeah, we had this for our level 4 pullback. We already discussed this. Waste management. Yeah, waste management, I saw this earlier today when I did my preparation, had a huge correction after this all-time high on November 29, I believe, when the entire stock market rebounded. But in this case, it was a deep, deep correction. Trend Radar is showing a level 5 correction here, even though MA Rush is still bullish. But we are still trading near the support cluster. And if you're willing to give this symbol a bit more room, at the minimum below this lowest support level here, perhaps at 195, this would be a stop loss. This could be an interesting opportunity for a long trade if you are willing to give it more room. So I believe there's something going on here at this level. Price definitely is slowing down after a steep decline. It's kind of catching a falling knife. But, if you want to take a shot, I believe price definitely will slow down in this area. And if you give it a bit more room, maybe at stop loss at around 993, 193, 190, maybe even, this could be an interesting long-term entry opportunity here at Waste Management. Let me add this one to our watch list. And perhaps one more, Reliance Steel and Aluminum Co. Whoa. Yeah, to me, that's a bit too crazy, too volatile. And also the trend here seems to be going into a sideways phase. So if you are a sideways trader, that could be something of interest. It's not our style here. So we're trying to find stocks which have even more opportunity than just reaching the next upper level. Now, where basically the sky is the limit. This is what I'm trying to find with these setups. But as a sideways trader, that might be something to consider. All right, let's move on to our next setup because we have 2 more setups to go through and we're already nearing the hour mark. So the next setup that we have is the zone break setup. How does this one work? I'm going to combine it with our zone break retrace setup to just speed things up a little bit. So zone break happens whenever a level is broken. So in this case, you can see it here. This support level, this red line, which was support, is broken. And once a level is broken, we may see a nice follow through in the direction of the breakout. In this case, in the short direction, you can see very nicely how price followed through. Of course, the same thing can happen also in the long direction. But there's a caveat to it, which is the zone break retrace. And remember, I said this before, oftentimes when such a breakout happens, price will initially go up and then pull back to the broken level, which will then act as support. And in fact, this is one of my favorite setups because I see it over and over again. And I like it because it gives me confidence that at least the initial fake out is over. It's behind us. And it's just one more check mark. Hey, this retracement, which is so often to come, may not come anymore because this is a likely scenario. All right, so let's see how can we scan for these setups. So back to our dashboard. I'm going to clear up all our scanners one more time. Done. And now we once again will use our Liquidity IQ setup column here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to scan for the long break symbol. So long break, meaning price broke above resistance. All right, so I click on it. And the first thing we can see, let me just click on this one here, for example. For the German clients among us, they will know it. It's the German telecommunication. We can see it here that this stock broke above resistance a long time ago, this green line here. Look at this one here. It broke above it at exactly 131 days ago. You can see it here by this number next to our long break, next to this long break label here. So 131 days ago. And then prices really took off. Of course, guys, not without retracing initially. This is so common. And then it really took off. So, of course, this could have been a nice opportunity 131 trading days ago, but now, right now, it's a bit too late for that. So let's focus on the ones where the breakout recently happened. So how can we find this? Well, we can simply sort this column here. We can either sort it like this, from high to low, or we can add another filter to it, an additional filter, for example, current. Once I do this, I can see all the symbols where the breakout happened at the last bar on Friday's bar. Every single symbol in here has a number one. Let's just look at the first one here. This is not a clean one, unfortunately. It's actually more of a zone break retrace. It was just counted a bit different by our tool. And actually, this is one we're going to fix also in a future version of the dashboard. But here, what we can see is the price at the last bar is now trading above this resistance level. But of course, the initial breakout happened here, went up, retraced, went up initially, yes, of course, retraced down to the zone. It held up as support, and then it went up again. So to me, that could be a very interesting opportunity. Not sure what happened before here, but to enter long into this symbol as well. But of course, this being a very volatile one. Okay, let's look at the next one. TGS. This is actually what I was looking for. Look at this one. Here, we have a clean breakout. So this bar here, the last bar on Friday, cleared completely this resistance zone here, this big area, and closed above it. Yeah, so we can see it here. This is an initial breakout the way I'd like to see it. And you can now, if you believe that, hey, this breakout will continue in the upside direction, at least initially, before we see the correction, you could now enter long at this point, put your stop loss just below this resistance level here, and anticipate that price will continue in the upside direction. Absolutely. One more thing here, ATGE. Yeah, also here, price cleared this resistance cluster here, finally, and now may take off in the upside direction. Even though I like this one better here, TGS. I'm not sure what this company is doing, but this seems to be like a nice uptrend here. We have a couple of orbit, but in general, it's a nice uptrend, bullish for 714 trading days. We finally now cleared this level. So I'm going to add this one to our list of symbols of interest for the week ahead. All right. So that was the long break, but let's do the other one, the zone break retrace setup next, because that is my personal favorite one. So the best for the last. Just take a little bit of water. All right. So let's find this setup. So one more time, back to status quo. I clear out all our filters. And one more time, we're going to use our Liquidity IQ setup column to scan for the long break retrace setup. And you will see, once I do this, our number of 4,922 stocks will dramatically go down to a much smaller number. All right, so here, I'm going to do it because it's very rare. Only 10 stocks are in a pure zone break retrace or long break retrace setup. So which ones do we have? Wow, a couple of really good stocks in here. So we have one Forex symbol, even though I don't trade Forex, but we can see here, for example, that Pound Kiwi, as the Forex traders would say, which has been in an uptrend for more than a year, 472 trading days, recently retraced, or not retraced, broke above this resistance level and is now retracing down to the broken level. And, now this will act as support and we may see some further upside action for this one here. I'm going to ignore Forex for now. So I'm going to, in fact, apply just another filter here to only focus on our stocks. All right, so 7 symbols. All right. Okay, so let's see which ones are interesting. So I'm going to just go through these ones here. And the first one, of course, and I believe I added it already, yes, I did, is Apple. We had this at the very beginning when I mentioned this setup. And we broke above resistance here. Price came all the way down. Now, trading near this broken resistance level. I really like it. The only thing here that, which would make me hesitate a little bit is that we may see a bit of a deeper correction even. So even on Friday's bullish market, Apple didn't really do much. It stayed where it is. So I think we may see a bit of a deeper correction. So we get a true level 4 pullback on trend radar all the way into this level here. If we do, this could be a great long opportunity for Apple to enter long in the anticipation that this uptrend will now really continue and make new highs. We already added Apple to our watch list. All right, what else do we have? Let me just sort it from longest to highest. O'Reilly Automotive. What do we have here? So once again here, we can see price broke above resistance at this point here. And now retraced down to this level here. This is an interesting one. Here we can see that price actually came very close to the broken resistance level, now acting as support. And we additionally see early signs that price is now continuing in the bullish direction. So we can actually see some evidence that, we not only see price going down to this level, but actually has some signs of already reversing from this level back to the upside. So if you're a bit of a more conservative trader, you could wait for this. You could wait for the reversal sign here. All right. And perhaps one more, AGIS. Yeah, I'm just zoom out a little bit here. Similar scenario, we broke above this level here. Price initially went up, and now we retraced down to this level. We actually saw it initially already. Here, look at this, how nicely this went. So we broke above, up, and then almost to the T, down to the broken level, and the price continued. And this fake out, this correction down to the level may happen multiple times. Many times it's just once, but it's not unseen to see this multiple times. And this is one of these scenarios here. Price once again is near the level, and ideally it holds up as support one more time before price then really takes off in the upside direction. All right, and perhaps one Apple we already had. Yeah, I think on the last ones, I'll leave it up for you guys to scan through those. Okay, before we go through our list, let me see if there are any questions. I see some symbol requests. All right, I'm going to get to the other technical questions just a bit later. And I'm not sure if Niklas, you can hear me. I guess not. Huh? Okay.
No, I can hear you, Daniel.
Oh, you can? Hi, Niklas. How are you?
Good. Yourself?
Yes,
Everybody.
good. All right. Okay, but are there any questions that, besides symbol requests, I'm going to do these at the very end.
We have one question here, Daniel. We've been answering them by text, but from Robert,
Okay.
He just asked, is there a best way you incorporate economic events like earnings and other near-term concepts into your technical analysis?
That's a great question. Actually, I forgot. Let me just, I have to say this because this is something I knew there was something when I prepared the slides a bit earlier today. Let me just 1 second, guys. When I was thinking, hey, what are we going to add for 2025? I had all these, of course, but there's two more things we definitely are going to add to the dashboard. The first thing is dividends. So dividends, how many dividends have been paid out, especially as an investor? This is a key information to see. How many dividends have been paid out by the stocks? What can I potentially expect as a dividend for the next when the next dividend comes up, and so forth. So that is going to be added to the dashboard for 2025. And we're also going to indicate, that's of course unrelated to what you just said, Nicholas, is in which sector the stock is trading and from in which country. So you're getting more international, the stock is from. This will be added as well. But now back to your question, Nicholas. Yes, the only thing right now that you can see when it comes to fundamentals is the next earnings date. So we have a column in here called earnings date. I was just disabled in my case, but you can enable it. And you can see now when the next earnings announcement is to be made, if it's nearish in the future. So for example, here for this one here, Aegis, in January 20th, the earnings will be announced. And of course, if you, for example, are an options trader and expect increased volatility, or perhaps even a surprise, and you may have a non-directional option strategy, which will benefit from volatility, this is important information to have. And of course, if you're just a regular stock trader or straight stock trader, it's also good to look at the earnings date because perhaps you want to wait until earnings are over to not get any negative surprises. Any other questions?
Yep, sorry, Daniel, I was muted. We have one question here, and they wanted to know, does this work with Forex pairs? Their Forex trader is
Yeah,
from Rast.
it does. And we are tracking 34 Forex pairs. You can see them all here. But this is, it's a swing trading dashboard. And as far as I know, most FX traders, just like futures traders, they're more on the day trading side. So this dashboard is specialized because it's based on end of day data on swing trading setups. So if you are a swing trading Forex trader, hey, you can use it. But if not, perhaps you would need to use the standalone versions of our indicators, Liquidity IQ, Trend Radar, Volume IQ, to potentially look at day trading opportunities on TradingView or other platforms.
Perfect. And now we just have symbol requests.
I'm going to do that at the end. Perfect. For those with the symbol requests, please bear with me maybe 5 more minutes and we're going to look at all these. Perfect. Thanks, Nicholas. All right. So now let's go to our watch list and see which symbols we have found. Let's comment on these ones just to sum up today's session. All right. So I'm going to load up this watch list. We can see we have, and of course there are more, but I have to cut it down at some point. We have 6 symbols in here. And let's start with Apple, because Apple was my favorite one so far. This is a beautiful setup, exactly what I was looking for, the zone break retrace setup. Honestly, if we see, even this is already a good setup, I think, but if Monday will even give us a deeper correction, or maybe this next week, towards perhaps the 238 level in here, this could be a prime setup for a long entry in Apple in the anticipation that it will continue its upside move. So I'm going to add Apple. I'm going to add a trade note here that this is an interesting setup. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, how this will pan out. So this is, a very interesting one. Do you see what I just did here? I clicked on the trade note symbol here. All right. And I clicked on this chart symbol, which will add a screenshot of the current chart to my notes. Of course, you can also write some text here, and you can even dictate your text in English and German right now to add some notes here. I just don't want to type while you guys are on the webinar. So oftentimes just a screenshot is enough to see what the situation was when we discussed the setup. So today on January 4th, this was the situation. These were the levels, because these levels will they will be moved if price changes. Trend radar will look different. But I'd like to see what the levels were when we discussed this setup. So this is what I usually do. I just put a screenshot in here as a reminder of what we were thinking back then. All right, so Apple looks good, but let's move on. That's that we have. Where's my pullback column? Let me just quickly hide. By the way, guys, if you cannot find all the columns here, You can simply drag your scanner a bit to the right side here to see all the columns. But what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to hide some of the other ones just to make it a bit easier to see. There we go. All right. So, next one, TGS. Yeah, this one had a zone break setup. You know, I like it. It's a nice trend. It seems to be steady. Trend rate up with the exception of a couple of times here. It typically it's a fairly shallow retracement, some level 3, some level 4s. Here we had some deeper ones, but this trend has been going up for quite some time, and now we had a zone break. Now, the concern is of every zone break setup is that we are trading fairly far away from our means now. You can see it here, these lines here. These are the averages, the average price over the last couple of bars or whatever. So these are the average prices. We are far away, meaning we may see a correction all the way down to the means at some point. Entering at this point is risky, therefore. And, I personally prefer entering into a trend when we're closer to the means. I'm going to skip this one, even though, if you believe that this trend move will continue, it did it a few times in the past, this could be now a great opportunity for a long entry, perhaps with a small position size. All right, waste management. Long bounce. And this one is trading near a support zone, but it's a deep correction. So trend rate has all 4 levels red. So as per trend rate, this is not even a level 4 pullback anymore. It's level 5 now, full pullback. So it's a bit risky. It's kind of catching a falling knife, but we are in this support cluster here. If we just draw this line here, maybe if we can put our stop loss in this level, around this level here, maybe 192 or 193, if you can give it enough room, I think this can be an interesting opportunity. But I'm not convinced it's going to stop right here. We may see a bit extra volatility, but if you give it more room, maybe a great opportunity to enter long into this trade at a much better entry price now than it was before. Now around 202 or something. It used to be at 230 in the past. So I'm going to just take a screenshot of this setup here. Maybe I make this red, so I know this is denoting my stop loss. You can even put like little annotations here. So stop loss. Of course, that's the wrong color. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay. So if we can put our stop loss here, this could be an interesting one to do. Can I do an arrow too? I probably could, but it's fine right now. All right. So I'm going to add this also to our trade notes.
We have a question here, Daniel. Sorry to interrupt you. But we have a question from Robert. He says he has the dashboard and all the indicators on TradingView. He wants to know, should he hold off for his process setup until we do the cloud update? So I think he's maybe asking, maybe you can clarify, Robert, but I think he's asking before he sets up how he's going to trade or do his analysis, is there going to be a lot of things changing with the cloud up?
Oh, don't, no, none of the logic will change. So no, don't worry about this. All the logic of our indicators will remain exactly the same. The updates that the stuff that will be affected is the number of symbols. You can scan through more symbols. There's some symbols right now which we don't track. We're going to add more symbols. And the processing time, meaning that how fast will we publish the next update. So updates are published every day after the market close. So right now it takes us about 3 hours to do all the calculations, or 2.5 hours to do all the calculations of our 5,000 symbols. That's quite long, especially if you add another 3,000 symbols, with the same kind of speed. This will take 4 hours. It's too long. So you guys probably want to see the results earlier. So we're making some changes there to speed this up so that updates will be published probably within, I'm guessing, maybe 1.5 hours for all 8,000 symbols. That's my guess. But no, Robert, don't hold back. The calculations will be exactly the same.
Perfect. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah. And one cool thing I wanted to say, if you add trade notes, all your annotations that you put on your chart, like in this case, my stop loss level, will also be added to the screenshot here. You can see it right here, which is pretty cool. All right. All right, so that was that one. RSG, yes, also a nice opportunity here. Level 4 pullback right at the lower end of our trend channel and at a support level. So I love this one. This is a great symbol. Definitely going to add this one. I know we had this on our horizon a few times already. Notably on December 14, price was a bit higher, but it's it's still a valid setup, even though it has retraced further down. I believe now that we're at the lower end of this trend channel, it could be a great opportunity to enter into this long trade. So I'm going to add a new trade note here with today's information. So, all right, so this is added now. And by the way, guys, you can scroll through your trade notes because they're timestamp of a day, with every day, just by using these arrows here. Oh, this is not. What is this? I was wondering what that was. Oh boy, this is the wrong screenshot. I was thinking, hey, has been trading higher at 284. See, this cannot be. So I'm going to actually delete this one. This was the wrong sim. This is Arthur J. Gallagher. So I'm going to actually delete this screenshot. Give me 1 second. There we go. We don't need it. Perfect. Okay. All right. Next one. Actually, talk about R.J. Gallagher, this one here. All right. So this one is now trading also in the support cluster here. Yeah. If I had to pick between RSG and Arthur J. Gallagher, I probably would stick with RSG. The trend is a bit smoother. Look at these big moves here. It's quite wild with this huge drawdown and pullback here, almost like a falling knife all the way down here. I'm gonna stay with this one. So this one I'm gonna skip as a promising candidate. So I'm not gonna annotate this one. And then we have Graniger. This one here is staying within its trend channel. Let me just zoom out a little bit. All right. Oh, that was the one where the trend channel actually, the swings are getting bigger and bigger as you go further. So here I would wait to, if we see a pullback all the way to this lower end of this trend channel, this could be an interesting opportunity. But right now, I would also stay away from this one. I think with the ones we have, most notably RSG, Waste Management, and Apple were in good shape for the week to come. So these are my prime candidates to look at. All right. So with this, let's see which symbol requests we have, or if you have any questions. All right. Okay. Let's see.
I just answered a question, Daniel. It was about when do the scan results complete? And we have a question from Edmund. He wants to know, how can you set up the screener to show you short setups on small cap stocks?
That's another good idea. I also would like to add some predefined lists in here. For example, just short small caps or SP 500 or NASDAQ 100, stuff like this. You can easily navigate to these categories, to these indexes. Right now, you can. You would need to create a watch list, I guess, to add the one thing you could do, but it's a bit laborious, is to download the symbols of your small cap stocks into an Excel file, then use our import feature in here to import into a new watch list, and then just scan in that watch list. That's possible, but right now it's not possible just to filter by small cap stocks. That's a good idea. All right.
Perfect. And we have a question from Robert. He wants to know, are there any comments on categorizing our playbook process based on trend trading, mean reversion, swing positions, or the 4 TI strategies of pullback and zone break retrace, etc.? So I think the question is about if we would categorize them by trend trading or mean reversion. Is there any way we do that with our setups?
I mean, most of what we do, except for the zone break setup, that's the only one where we don't look for mean reversion, but all the other ones, like bounce, we're looking for price coming down to a support zone. Zone break retrace, going up first and going back to its broken resistance level, and pullback. These are all mean reversion strategies. But of course, Long break is the only one where it's not really the case, where we actually, breaking out, we're going back, we're going away from the mean. But all the other ones, these are mean reversion strategies. So look at this, we're going towards the mean, towards these green lines. Yeah. Right. What about symbol requests? Do we have some?
Yes, we have one that's been asked a couple times is for daily natural gas. So UNG or at NG.
Yes. All right. Okay, let's just look at the scanner here first. So we don't see any clear setup as per Liquidity IQ, but we do see that UNG is in a downtrend for 499 trading days. And just by looking at this, it looks quite bearish. All right. Let me just zoom out a little bit here. Boy. Yep, it is definitely. Yeah, wow, look at this beautiful MA rush trend recognition here. Since then, price has been going down. Now, of course, trading at very low levels. Bullish here, also nicely recognized. Mean reversion down here. And of course, as prices get cheaper, don't be surprised that things look very condensed here if you zoom out. That's normal because now, the bigger prices here are also taken into account. But if you go into these levels here, there's definitely some potential in here. Of course, prices being super, super low. I don't know, man. To me, this looks bearish to me. And, we're trading near this resistance level here. This could be a nice short bounce opportunity with, where we're bouncing off this resistance level towards the lower end here. So my bet would be, hey, stay with the trend. We have some mean we are near resistance here. We bounce further to the short side. So perhaps a nice short entry opportunity would be my guess for natural gas.
Perfect. And we have another short idea, and they wanted to know what you think is on Adobe.
Okay.
And while you're going there, Daniel, we had a question from Kevin. He wanted to know, when you were in Germany, did you get a sense of if they're going to have an election soon?
Oh, they will. It's already scheduled for I don't know which date, but for January, I believe. It's coming up soon. Yeah, thank God, I have to say. Don't want to get into German politics, but it was a bit messy as of late, to say the least. Okay, so Adobe short. Huh. Actually, Adobe, short I would not do it because I don't like to go against my trend Hemi rush indication here. But let me just zoom out a little bit. Where are we coming in from? Adobe. We are near the support level. So we are bullish and trading near a support level. So to me, this looks almost like even though we did have some sort of gap here, this looks some kind of a long bounce scenario, where we might bounce off to the long side. But overall, it's not a stock that I would trade right now. So if you are in that stock long, I'm not sure from where. Yeah, be cautious. If you break back below, like I'd say this cluster here, maybe 415, 410, perhaps close your long position, because you may see a deeper correction to some of these levels here. But if you're thinking about, hey, we might bounce off this level, maybe take a shot at the long side if you stop loss at a similar level, and maybe we're gonna bounce to a level up here at the 500, the 550 level or something, perhaps. Yeah. All
Cool.
right.
And Daniel, we have another symbol, if you could take one, is NMRA.
NMRA. We don't have it. This symbol will be added, Charles. I don't even know what that is. When we have our new update coming with all these 8,000 symbols.
Perfect. And do you have time for another symbol, Daniel?
Yeah.
Okay, we have one from Bill. He wants to see RCAT, RCAT.
All right. Red Cat Holdings. Oh boy. Yeah. Another stock which is not near its mean. This is a stock which has been super parabolic, I guess, from $1 now to almost to like 14, 15. Hard to say. There's too little data here on the daily time frame. Of course, that's the daily time frame to comment on this. Of course, it's very bullish. We're far above the mean. Yeah, if we see a correction down to I mean, all the way down to 7. Maybe another opportunity to re-enter long, or at least a level 4 pullback. But right now, I would stay on the sidelines. If you see on trend radar, maybe a pullback level 3 or 4, perhaps you can give it a shot. Or coming all the way down to this level here for a long break retrace setup. But right now, I think it's too risky to enter long, in my opinion.
Cool. And we have a question from John for AT&T.
Yeah. All right. AT&T. Problem is, if I just put T in here, I know that's a stock, that's the ticker symbol. It will look for all occurrences of the letter T within the symbol and also the name here. Of course, there's so many, which I just have the level T, so I just have to navigate to it quickly. AT&T. Maybe I should just put AT in here. 1 second. Not sure how we wrote it in our... there we go. AT&T. Easy. All right. Okay, so bullish for 191 trading days. Level 3 pullback. All right. And we can see the price pulled back nicely. All right. Yeah, that's a nice one. Definitely in the magnet zone in between support and resistance. Definitely. It's a nice smooth uptrend for sure. Yeah, that could be an interesting long trading opportunity. Let's see what happened on the last week. It's a bit sideways, but yeah, I think that's it's interesting for a long entry for sure. If you go long, I would set my initial target just below this resistance level because price may bounce off a bit from here before it makes all higher highs. So maybe with an initial target of perhaps 23.50 perhaps, and well, everything is a bit condensed, but yeah, potentially a long entry here. Nice pullback.
We have a
All
question,
right.
Daniel, here about MA Rush. And David wanted to know, do you know offhand when it switches from bullish to bearish or bearish to bullish? And how many days on average does it tend to hold a direction?
That would be a great statistic to add to our dashboard here. I don't have this number. All I can say is that MA Rush is designed to be as conservatively as possible, meaning it will hold on to a trend reading as long as, in quote, humanly possible. So it will not change its mind. And this is by design too often. So here, for example, let me just see this one here. Sorry, let me just find a good example. Okay, so here it went bearish. Okay, so that's good. So it was at a a good time to go bearish. But look at what happened in the meantime. So bearish, then price went all the way up here. It still didn't change its mind. This is once again by design because we try to stay with our trend as long as possible. Only down here when there was like there was too much evidence that the tides have changed, it went then to bullish. So it's very, very conservative. But I don't have any statistics, but I'm going to take a note of this is something that we would like to add, that we're probably going to add to our dashboard. Yeah, because this could be interesting to see because, if you could see per symbol, hey, on average, this MA Rush stays within the trend for like 100 days or more. And then if a trend change occurs, you can perhaps, infer something from this that, hey, now this trend has occurred, and you may see a nice follow through afterwards in the direction of the trend.
Well, and Daniel, Kevin says he mentioned that it looks like the chart is super small on his laptop because you are above it, but I think that might be a case of selecting the proper screen to look at in your Zoom.
This chart, I can just make it bigger. Oh, I am, because my picture, I can just switch off my video. That's probably easier to see now. Yeah. So that was the example I was discussing here that trend MA Rush, sorry, is keeping its trend information as long as possible. So it's not trying to change its mind too often. So here, this bearish trend stayed bearish, even though through this long, big correction here, all the way through until we had overwhelming evidence that a trend change has occurred.
Thanks, Daniel. And we have 2 more symbol requests if you have time.
Yeah, let's do 2 last ones.
Sure, Intel Corporation, then it's going to be Tesla after that.
Yeah. All right, Intel. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody was saying, "Hey, Intel, it's too big to fail." But I don't know. It's been quite a story here. What is happening? In contrast to all the big chip manufacturers, Intel is struggling. The huge company, the stock price is just plummeting. Yeah, for a long time, bearish for 152 trading days, but the bearish trend actually went on for much, much longer than this. Uh, People thought, hey, we recovered a bit from these all-time low, not all-time lows, but these lows here from 1850. Price went up to like 26, but now we're back down to these levels and we're still in this bearish trend. My outlook is bearish. Of course, if you want to take a really long-term investment shot, this might be a good opportunity because too big to fail is a thing. They have big government contracts and facilities all over the world. Um, I think eventually they probably will recover, but not on a swing term perspective. This will be more an investment over many, many years, in my opinion.
Thanks, Daniel. We have a question. Does this work for cryptos, the setups? So yeah, we do have some
Yeah,
crypto. Maybe you
yeah,
can.
absolutely. So in our asset class filter here, let's let me select cryptos, and we have, oops, take this one out. We have, how many do we have? 32 cryptos in here. So you have all the bigger ones in here. And as we add new symbols, we're also going to add more cryptos to it.
Perfect. And our
Yeah.
last pull request was Tesla.
Yeah. So Tesla. All right. Yeah, of course, Tesla being super, super bullish ever since the elections happened. Almost doubled in price. But then we had a nice correction. Level 3, you can see it here. Level 3 pullback on trend radar. Could have been a good opportunity with a gap even. So we gapped down with a gap. And this gap was immediately filled on Friday of a big bullish bar. And yeah, I mean, it could be a good opportunity to now enter long into Tesla. At least you're getting it cheaper than it was before. And definitely some upside opportunity here. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Awesome. I'm checking to see if we have any last questions here. Siegfried wants to know, they cannot find the indicator link on our homepage for TradingView. And I know, Siegfried, you were looking for Trend Radar before. So maybe you are looking for Trend Radar. Oh, I think, Daniel, their trouble is they're on TradingView and they're not able to find how to access their indicator. And they're on
Okay.
the German version of TradingView.
Yeah, and Siegfried, you have to look for auf Einladungsskripte. That's the German term for invite-only scripts in TradingView. So if you go just real quick to TradingView and are looking for our indicators, so go to the charts here. I'm not going to switch it to German, but if you go, just clean this up. So here, this is our trend matrix indicator, and we hide these. All right, so go to indicators here and down to in this on the left-hand side menu, go down to the last icon of the lock symbol here. In English, it says invite only. In German, it will have a different term. Click on it, and in there, you can see all the indicators you purchased from us. So whatever it was, trend radar, you will see it in this category. For example, this one here. Okay. I hope this helps. If not, Siegfried, just simply send me a quick mail and I'll take care of it. All right. Cool. So with this, we are 1 hour and 36 minutes in. Long session. Let's wrap it up. A quick reminder. Let me just quickly go to my end here. If you have not downloaded our free ebook yet, The Power of Three, simply download it from tradingindicators.com/power of three. This link is also in the chat. And if you're interested in giving our dashboard a try, you can try it out completely risk-free for a full week at tradingindicators.com/view. And if you decide to stay on board with a monthly or yearly subscription, you can do that too. And of course, there's no contract. You can cancel at any time. No obligation. So tradingindicators.com/view. All right. So, and if you missed anything, oh boy, there's some if you have some other question, I see two more symbols. Let's do two quick more symbols, Nicholas, and then we really need to wrap it up. Let me go back to my dashboard one more time. Palantir, PLTR. Bullish for 378 trading days in a long break retrace scenario. Yeah, so here, I think what you want to do is wait for a level 3 pullback and trend radar to look for a long entry opportunity. We are extended over the means. See these lines here? These are the averages. So if price comes down closer to these ones, this could be an interesting opportunity. Like here, for example, price went all the way down to at least the upper line here, a level 3 pullback. That's where you want to get in. So right now I would wait. And QUBT, let's go to this one, QUBT. Quantum, that one is, yeah, the same here. You would need to wait. Of course, super volatile. There's not much to read into this kind of stocks. But if we see a level 3 pullback, it could be something of interest. So in this case, wait until trend radar shows at least 3 levels right here for a long entry opportunity. All right, guys. With that, thank you so much for being here at our first session of the new year, the first of many, many. Of course, we're also going to continue with our lunch and learn session next Tuesday and our tech talks and all the other seminars and webinars that we typically have throughout the week. So something to look forward to. If we missed any question, you can simply reach out to us via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Click on the main menu on the contact item. This will open up a contact form. Put your question there, and it will go straight to my inbox. And we're going to get back to those questions as soon as we can. And yeah, with that, guys, I wish you a great start into the next trading week. It's going to be an exciting one. We're going to see increased volatility. The slow weeks are done now. There's the weeks of fewer trading days. The first complete week is ahead of us, and I'm excited to see what the markets have in store. All right, guys, with this, enjoy your weekend and talk to you soon. Thanks, Niklas, for being here as well. Bye-bye, guys.